All right, we live. We're live on Facebook now. We're going live on Instagram in a second. Give us a sec while we click all the buttons, hit everything, get everything lined up. Wait for Scotty there in the control booth to give us the thumbs up, and then we can get started here.
It's like Wayne's World, man.
Wayne's World. Meow, meow, meow. Mm-hmm. No, we should get a cool couch.
We should.
Yeah.
Some wigs.
I'll bring in my drumsticks. Well, if you're drumsticks. All right, I'm getting there.
You good?
Yeah. Scotty says we're good. So, hey everyone, welcome into another Leupold Live. This is our third one we've done. I just want to say a big thank you to all you guys who have tuned in, typed questions, interacted with us. We've been really, really stoked on all the great feedback, and we're excited to keep doing these things. I think it's great for you guys to be able to ask questions, for us to bring in experts, and to give you guys kind of a behind-the-scenes look at what we do at Leupold, how the products come to life, the features behind the products and stuff like that. So just want to say a big thank you. And today we're here with Zach Bird. Zach Bird is one of our product line managers, one of the figures in launching our thermal products, which is what we're going to talk to about today. So we got some of our thermal products here. Just a little background, like what you do here, how long you've been here, all that good stuff.
So I've been here for 3 years. As Nick mentioned, I'm a product line manager. Great place to work. I get to do the coolest stuff in the world, in my opinion. Right now I manage binoculars, spotting scopes, pro gear, t-shirts, hats, that kind of stuff. And as Nick mentioned, I started out in this thermal stuff. So.
Yeah, and that's why we brought you in, just to, and make sure that we got the man behind the driving force to get these thermal products out there. So, and some of you might not know that we actually have thermal stuff. It's semi-new for us.
Absolutely.
How many years have, I think, 2 years
so
now?
we launched this, it's been just under 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. So, and really, let's dive into why we got into the thermal.
Yes, we basically, looking at product stuff, we kind of break it down in 3 segments. You have, observation. You have the shot, which is basically scopes, kind of our bread and butter, and then you have recovery. So anybody that has had the unfortunate experience of, either wounding an animal or, it's difficult to follow a blood trail.
Right.
Beyond a flashlight, there's not a lot of tools out there that can help you recover an animal. So that was the driving force behind the development of the tracker.
Right. It helps complete the kit, right?
Absolutely.
That you have. You have your rangefinder, your bino, spotter, scope, and then your recovery tool.
Yep.
Yeah, which makes total sense.
Absolutely.
Having all those tools, gives you the advantages you need to be successful in the field,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. So the first one we kind of came out with is the tracker right there, right?
Yep.
It looks different from any thermal that I've ever seen before.
It does. So generally thermals are on eye, meaning that you're going to go ahead and look through it this direction.
Okay, and I see when we first came out with these, we'd be at trade shows.
Yeah.
And guys would pick them up and put them right to your eye, and you'd be like, no, you got. So it's a regular screen you look at, kind of like the display screen on a camera or something.
Yeah. So
if
you were filming something on your phone, you're basically going to be looking at the screen. It's going to be doing the imaging there. So, we do get a lot of people that look at them this way. You would just hold it off your face like you would anything else. In that way.
Yeah.
We also have the Quest product here, which works a little bit differently. It's kind of a top-down, more like a traditional cell phone. There's a larger screen here, and you're going to be able to pan this direction.
Gotcha.
Like that. So they work a little bit different.
Gotcha. So different kind of, you have it down here as opposed to up here kind of deal.
Exactly.
A little bit larger, but it's got a little bigger screen on it.
Yep.
So there's some gives and takes there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's funny talking about the trade show. One of the things that I found about that, like when we were showing people like how to use them, was you would have people walk on the carpet, and you were like, okay, now look at the carpet, and you could see footprints on the carpet of just that slight little friction, of a shoe hitting a carpet causes a temperature difference that these things can pick up. So they're pretty sensitive, actually.
Yeah, actually, another cool thing, I don't know if we can get this on camera, but
oh yeah, some displays here.
Yeah. So
we'll see how well this works. So bear with us.
I just put my hand on the wall for a few seconds. Not sure if you can pick it up there, but
yeah. So Instagram, you're going to get the first look here, and then we'll drop it down to the Facebook camera and see if you guys can see it. So, yeah. I mean, just a slight temperature difference like that, and then you can see, hopefully, see a handprint on the the wall there.
Hopefully. Scotty,
our producer and hand model there, is giving us a little. There you go. Look at line it up at the same time. We should have made a mount for this, right? Yeah. But hopefully it gives you guys a little bit of an idea of kind of what it looks like. Now, obviously with the cameras and the tracker and stuff, you're not going to get the full. I mean, you gotta
use it.
Go check one of these out at a store and play around with it to really get the feel of like what you're looking at, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, kind of what are we have the tracker. We have the Tracker HD that came out this year. That's our newest product that we have, right?
Yep, just came out.
So what are the main kind of differences between those two?
So on the original Tracker, the barometer, it's 206 by 156, which means it's a thermal resolution. On the new Tracker, on the HD, it's a 320 by 240, so you're getting double the resolution. The hertz are about the same. This is 25 hertz. The original Tracker is 30 hertz.
So Tom, I'm a layman here, and actually I don't know that much about the specs and the stuff. So what does hertz mean?
So boiled down in sort of layman's terms,
hertz.
Old technology and like a camcorder or something. Lower hertz, it's basically you can see sort of that choppiness, right?
Oh,
if you slow it down, it's frame to frame to frame. It's not always live.
So like frame rate, right?
Yes.
Is that kind of what it would be? Too?
So basically this is seeing what your eye sees. So if I'm looking as though my eye would.
Oh, okay.
Stuff that there are some products out there that are 9 hertz, and you basically get a little bit more of a chop there.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
One thing I will mention though is when you're using this, and you'll hear it as well. There's actually a manual shutter in the front of this, and the reason it's doing is it's refreshing the sensor. So if that shutter never went off and it never refreshed, the image would basically it would wash out. So you see occasionally
it refreshing.
Just up and then it goes right back to where it is. They all work that way. They have to refresh themselves.
Gotcha.
In order to get
so it's supposed to be doing that.
Yep.
Cool.
Absolutely. It's totally normal.
Just wanted to mention also, we type in your questions. We got the questions live right here. We got our first one came in. This is a good one, and we'll just kind of intersperse these throughout what we're talking about. So, question from IG there. What's the magnification range on these bad boys?
So it's a 1:6 zoom. That's a digital zoom.
So you got your buttons. I don't know if you guys can see them. So there's 3 buttons kind of on top there, and one of them is the zoom button, right?
Yeah, so you have your power button here. The middle one is the zoom button. Basically, once you enter zoom mode, you're going to hit the middle button. It's going to zoom in, and you're going to hit the far left button. It's going to zoom out. Or you can just hold down the middle button. It continuously zooms and then goes right back to 1.
Cool. So or you can toggle through.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. So digital zoom on those 1:6. Being able to kind of pinpoint in on something that you want to look at, right? Cool. Let's keep going through the specs here. So we hit frame rate. You talked about resolution too. Is that resolution of the screen?
Yeah. So the screen on this is 390 by 390, which is really good. It also has Gorilla Glass.
You had mentioned that.
Yeah, over the top. So it's super durable. But of course, in order to match the resolution of the actual sensor, we upgraded the resolution of the screen as well. So
that Gorilla Glass, because I am brutal to my gear. Right? I just throw it in bags and stuff.
Absolutely.
And so that's awesome. And then on the display too, I did notice looking at these ones. So this one has a full round display, and this one has a kind of there's a line on the bottom there. So you got a full round display on that HD
full
one.
Picture, yeah.
Full picture.
And these are very similar to what you would see on like on a current like Google or Apple.
Okay. Nice.
Great resolution.
Yeah. I was really impressed when I first looked through them. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And especially for that price point, which is a great segue into another question here from Kojo on Instagram. So what's the price point on these?
I'd say street price is $9.99. That's where you're gonna be able to find it.
Yeah. So the Tracker HD is $1,000. The regular Tracker is $6.99.
Yes, sir.
Right. So So, and that's another great point too. Is I think when they hear the term thermal or think thermal, they think thousands and thousands of dollars, right?
Technology's come a long way in the last couple of years, and that's one of the reasons that we were able to get this at what we would see as a really affordable price. There are many units out there that'll cost you anywhere from the $4,000 to $6,000 to $10,000 range. A lot of your higher end military, law enforcement stuff, stuff that's hooked to a helicopter might cost $100,000. But in the last couple of years, and we've been able to do some things with this where we can really cut the cost down. Crisp, good thermal.
Yeah, I mean, when we first introduced them, and you were talking to people, and you said, they'd pick it up, they look at it, and be like, okay, what's it going to be? Yeah. And you say $700, and they're like, really?
Exactly.
And it's gotten to that point. The technology, like you said, has gotten to that point that I think anyone can afford one of these.
The average guy can now kind of get in the thermal game, whereas before it's you're going to have to put away $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in order to do it.
It's a couple mortgage payments, right?
Totally. It's just it's much more affordable in terms of thermal. Still $1,000 still expensive, but for what you get out of this, it's a great value, a great product.
Another question from Instagram: will this help when glassing? When you're sitting there, glassing with some binos or spotters or something like that.
Sure. The main purpose of this is really game recovery. There's always an ethical issue when it comes in. Am I using this as the magic to? No, that's not.
Absolutely.
It's not what it's intended for, and that's really not the main purpose. The main purpose is really for recovery of an animal.
And check your local state regulations.
Absolutely.
There may be some instances where you can't use something like this. Right?
Every state's different. Rules are always changing. I would definitely make sure that you check with your local game board, law enforcement, and make sure that you're within regulations to use thermal.
Absolutely. Yep. Of course, I knew we were going to get this question. So Gear Thrill on Instagram, thanks for tuning in. Can you mount these? I assume he's talking, can you mount these on a firearm or a weapon or something like that, right?
No, you can't.
You can't.
The reason we do that, obviously, is anything that we mount that's going to go on a firearm, it's got a lifetime, right? And with electronics in here, we don't want to put something out that some recoil is going to destroy the product. So
absolutely.
I can tell you right now that we're working on it. I've made some headway on that, but it is not intended to be mounted. Just a heads up. If you do mount it, it does void the warranty. Yeah. So that's the trade-off you get there. So, yep, good question though. I knew that one was going to come up because I got that one many times. Let's see. How easy is it to see blood trails? I'm colorblind, so I have a hard time. That's kind of an interesting question. Yeah. So I mean, it really varies. Depending on how warm the ground and the surrounding environment.
Great point.
It's really difficult to say if I could give you a number to say, hey, you have 30 minutes to track blood. That's going to vary if you're in an environment. Let's say if you're in South Texas and you're hog hunting and it's 90 degrees. The ground's hot, the blood's hot. It's going to be more difficult. Now, if you're in snow, obviously the blood's going to get cold soon. If you're in a normal environment, let's say here in the Pacific Northwest, and so really where this thing works the best is if you have something that piles up into a bunch of brush. A lot of times when an animal's wounded, it'll find the deepest, darkest place it can to go. You can see into there through brush, through things, and you're going to be able to pick up that heat signature.
I think that's an important part to talk about is the ambient temperature of where you're at makes a difference. And that's, again, I'll go back to like when we're in trade shows and we're showing these things off. It's not the best environment to really see how these... because everything in there is kind of the same temperature. And you need those extreme temperature differences.
You want a disparity in temperature, right? So the further the difference in the temperature, the things around the subject that you're looking at, the better it's going to be.
So the example, if you're in Texas hog hunting and it's the middle of the day and it's 90 degrees, well, everything's kind of that same
and really that's true for your $5,000-$6,000 thermal. They're all working the same way. They're basically seeing a difference in temperature.
It's science.
If everything around you is warm.
Cool. Let's see. Question from Instagram: can you see through the glass? So no, you can't, right?
So you can't. You would think you could, and the reason for that is glass is all the same temperature. So when this looks, it sees basically a blank slate.
Yeah.
So you cannot see through glass.
Yeah.
That's a good question, though.
Yeah, that's a great question, because like I've actually had people be like, well, I was in my car and I was trying to look out and I couldn't see anything. Well, that's because you're hitting glass and for whatever reason it can't, it's reflecting back off the glass, so
that's
you
correct.
can't see it. Yeah. So great question from Instagram there. So is the HD already available in stores?
It is. Yep.
So we are shipping that one right now. It's in stores. So like I said, really get to a store, go check one out, and see for yourself in real life, kind of. Let's talk about the color palettes. We didn't really touch on that yet. I believe the Tracker has 6, and then Tracker HD has 8 color palettes,
two
right?
additional. We have one called Copper, and we have one called Range. Range is kind of the range of the entire color palette. So pretty much has every color there is, and Copper is much more of a, copper-looking tonal color.
The marketing geniuses came up with that name. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So those color palettes basically. Will a one color palette work better than another color palette?
It's really more of a user preference. It's difficult to say, hey, at night this works better. It's really with the user experience. It's different temperatures, a different environment.
Yeah.
I can say that the red and the green often are good when it's pitch black outside and you're looking for something, basically because you don't have that backlight that you would have, on a high white. Another feature that we actually added to this year, requested this, and it actually has an adjustable backlight. So on the original,
that's right.
Yeah, when you're using it in the middle of the night in the pitch black, the backlight can be somewhat discombobulating if you're turning around,
right?
Getting off.
Well, because especially if it's dark, your eyes are dilated, right? Yep. So you're going to be super sensitive to light.
Yep.
And you click on a screen and you're like, oh.
So just like on your cell phone, you can go into the go into the screen and basically turn it down.
That's awesome. That's a great feature. I think that's cool too. That like we obviously had listened to user feedback. Yeah. We as users too take them out and use them, and then we make those improvements down the road.
Absolutely.
So that's really cool.
Yep.
Let's see. Battery life. That's probably one thing that people are wondering about how these perform battery-wise.
Yeah. So it takes a single CR123 battery. You have 10 hours of continuous use. So that's if you were going to literally run this thing for 10 hours. Now every 15 minutes you'd have to hit a button. 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Any inactivity, great thing about it is it shuts off. So if you're using it,
that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
But really, 10 hours out of a single battery is great. Now, the Quest products are rechargeable. They have an internal battery.
Gotcha. Is that just like a USB or mini USB?
Micro USB port.
Micro USB.
The nice thing about the trackers is that what's a battery in your backpack if you need it? You have now 20 hours. If you're up on a mountain and you don't have your charger or a way to charge it, it's nice to be able to replace that.
Put batteries in your range bag. Put batteries in your range belt. You will be the most popular person ever. You'll be the savior. I've done that many times. So, yeah, cool. Another great question here. What other applications can we use it for? So,
great question.
Because we're talking about hunting, we're talking about recovery, but there's a lot of other things that you can do with these, right?
Yep. So, kind of teamed up with a local law enforcement agency here in Portland, and we've loaned them several units. They do a lot of different testing. One of them was clearing a warehouse, sort of a large space. They use a spotlight on a car, they use flashlights, and then they also used the tracker products. And it's funny because they were pretty stoked. Like, a lot of times somebody's hiding and it's black and you scan through it with a flashlight, you can't always see it.
Right.
Nothing hides from heat. I mean, heat's there. As long as it's not completely obscured, you do a quick scan, you're going to see something. You're going to know that that's.
If you were seeing and you saw someone's like half their legs sticking out with a flashlight that's black, you might not be able to see it. But with that, it totally stands out.
Yeah, and in that situation, obviously, time's super important. So the quicker that you can. Locate that.
Police, fire rescue. If someone's out in the wilderness in the middle of the night and you're trying to locate them, something like this would be great.
Thermal's also used a lot to go into a house. It can see through smoke. It can see through a decent amount of fog, rain, those sorts of things. And so otherwise where we are blind and can't see it, it can see the heat through that. So,
right.
They're using that in that sort of situation as well.
And we were talking about this a little bit before we went on camera, but the one, it's a compact unit.
Yep.
An individual, an officer, a fireman could wear this on their belt, and it's not going to take up that much space. But price too. I think historically, and we had talked about that, super expensive, and now you have something that's more affordable for departments that are on a budget.
Absolutely.
To be able to deploy to officers and have that advantage.
Yeah,
really.
a lot of those units, you know, obviously they're expensive, but a lot of them are mounted to a vehicle.
Yeah.
They're large units. This is something that, you know, any officer could wear on their belt.
Right. So suspect takes off and you have to chase after
Absolutely.
him. Now you have something on your kit that you're going to be able to use.
And you know, as far as hunting, I mean, throwing this in a backpack and the same size as a flashlight. You know.
And more applications that you used it for in your home, right? So maybe you're losing heat in your home.
Yeah, go outside and put it on your window. Of course, you can't see through it, but you will see the heat escaping in the winter, or conversely, the cool air.
I put it on my front door, and I saw the gaps at the top, and I was like, I am losing so much heat coming out of the house, and so it was time for new weather stripping on the front door, right?
Yeah, a lot of times, I mean, you can also see studs with it.
Yeah, you can see studs in the wall.
There's a lot of cool stuff.
So that's your stud too, right? Yeah. That's how you justify it to the wife, right? That you're gonna improve the house, and you're gonna do some
probably
stuff.
Shouldn't even bring this up, but I got a really interesting email from a gentleman about a year ago with the original tracker that going to the dog park, there's a lot of dogs, a lot of chaos going on. Your dog relieves himself. Sometimes it's difficult to find. It was funny because he was ecstatic. He's like, this thing's awesome. I literally go to the dog park. I'm exactly where my dog. It's pretty funny. I just thought it was
leaving.
I was like, man, I haven't thought of that use.
And someone else thought, someone talked to me into it, was like, well, now I can see who's crop dusting in the office too. I was like,
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, no, we haven't used it. We didn't test for that when we were developing it. I don't think. I wouldn't have volunteered for that test. So I don't want to be outed, right? All right. Let's see. So we talked about recovery, security. Oh, security is a good one too. Talking about like if you have a farm or something, maybe you have some livestock, right? Maybe you have some coyote problems or some varmints coming in. So
if you're looking at a herd of cattle or something like that, you can definitely see a coyote coming through there. I mean, you're definitely gonna be able to see all that kind of stuff. But really, it's situational awareness, right?
Yeah, that's a great.
Something goes bump in the middle of the night, and you need to, obviously. It's nice to be able to kind of scan, to be able to see if there's something there, something outside.
Right. I was talking to the international team too, and they were talking about South Africa. These are really big, also because they have some security issues and stuff down there. So people guarding farms and that kind of stuff. So we've actually sold a lot of those in South Africa. Super popular. Let's see. Does thermal product come with the standard warranty? So that's a good question off Instagram.
So this is
Yeah, 2-year electronics warranty. 2 years from the date of purchase is what the warranty is on that. So Hunter on Instagram, when a suspect runs into a wooded area, what's the distance a law enforcement officer can use to scan for the suspect? So that's a good question, talking about
a great question.
Distance, right? What can you actually see? So
yeah, and in that particular instance, it's not going to be able to see through like a tree. If I'm standing completely behind a tree and I'm not exposed at all, it's not going to be able to see me. Same thing with tall grass. If I'm completely out of view, it's not going to be able to see through all the grass. So a lot of that stuff is very situational, and it's really based on the environment. However, there is a difference between detection and identification.
Super important.
Our detection distance on this is 700 yards.
Yep.
Basically, what we say in that is that it will pick up heat out to 700 yards. That doesn't mean you're going to say, oh, a bulldog is 700 yards. I'm saying it's basically it is recognizing that there's heat. Now, identification is much different. You're going to be able to tell the difference between a coyote and your dog, or a cat and a bobcat, that kind of stuff. I would say it's, again, it's really relative on the environment using it, where you're at.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's probably closer to somewhere around 100 yards in it. So, great question. It's really difficult to say it'll work. It'll do this in this environment, because honestly, the weather, the terrain, whether it's rain, whether it was a cold night, warm night, all that kind of stuff kind of plays into effect. And that's, like I said, that's kind of just across the board for all thermal products.
Yeah, but that suspect who's in the woods is going to definitely have a disadvantage if the officer has one of those.
Absolutely.
And I was just thinking too, like you could even see like if, okay, let's say someone was running and they took a corner and you don't know which way they went, that their footprints might actually still be
there's a definitely possibility.
Enough heat on the ground that you'd be able to see like where they went.
In a lot of situations, like I said, with a flashlight and sort of a conventional way of searching in the dark, it's going to give away your location, obviously, if you're shining a light. This emits no light out of it, so it's nice that way. So
Loza on Instagram, I don't know where this came from. Nick, someone said you're wearing leather pants. True?
I can tell you he has pants on, but I'm not sure they're leather.
I should wear leather. Am I at status now? Can I rock leather pants? No. Is that you run Pro Gear? Are we going to come out with leather pants?
Probably not. Nope.
Man, all right. No leather pants. They're just brown. They're just pants. They're adventure pants. They're kind of stretchy.
They are tight. Yeah, I will say that.
It's because I got big legs. All pants are tight. All right. We're not going to get into that. What else? So the Quest HD came out. I don't know if we touched on it. So there's a camera in there, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, so you can take up to 2,000 pictures. Let me turn it on here. Works a little different. One of the cool things about the Quest products is they actually give you a temperature readout. So there is, let's see if we can get the flashlight. So there's a 300 lumen flashlight. It's completely user adjustable. You can go all the way from 300, you can basically up to 100% down to 1% if you want.
Yeah.
And it basically it takes pictures. And like I said, there's a reticle in the middle of the screen. You're holding it on. It's temperature. So
cool.
Kind of cool thing like that. You can tell if your brake caliper, maybe one of your brake calipers is hanging up.
Yeah,
you can literally measure the temperature of that, and if there's a huge disparity there, you might have an issue with
automotive stuff too. That you could totally use it for.
This is really big, really, in this kind of the HVAC, construction industry, because you can take a picture of a vent, say, hey, look, there's obviously air leaking. This has a lot of uses, sort of outside, more of a traditional built recovery and observation in the hunting world. This, with the flashlight and some of the other features, kind of has a more broad feature set where you can use it for all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Just a reminder, Scotty there just gave me the hat, so we'll pick a question when we're done here, and best question gets a hat. So
Sweet.
You guys have been great. These are really good questions. Let's see. Is there anything else that we kind of missed that we kind of glanced over? Everything. The testing. That's something we had talked about.
Yep.
So what do we do testing wise, and what are these rated to, and all that? The waterproofness, I think, something we talked about.
I mean, we dunk them, we shock them. Every single unit goes through our QA process before it gets packaged. Gets ran through all the features to make sure everything's running properly before it ever gets shipped to a customer.
Yeah, I think you said they're 100% QA'd, so they go through each one to make sure that they're functioning right.
Yep.
And IP67, is that what you said?
Yep.
Yeah,
so that's
waterproof rated. So explain what that is for.
So IP67, you have a lot of new cell phones that are coming out that are also that. That is 1 meter submerged, and so 3 feet of water for 30 minutes, which seems crazy that you would ever dunk this in a creek for 30 minutes, right? But it will withstand that. So any sort of user in the issue with it, there's not going to be a problem with that.
If you drop it in the stream or something like that, it'll be good. Fish it out, get it. I wouldn't recommend just like testing it and dunking.
Yeah, but I mean, any environment that any normal person that's going to spend $1,000 on something that they're going to put it through.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be afraid to use it in any sort of weather, any sort of rain, all that kind of environment. It's definitely got to hold up. Like
we live here in one of the rainiest places, right? And we take it out to the Coast Range and use it, and it works just fine.
Yeah, no problem.
No problems
there at all. It's a very durable unit.
We got a question here. What's the operating temperature? Not sure, like temperature range maybe they're talking about,
So there's two things there, right? It's like what temperature am I in? So if it's negative, if I'm in Siberia and it's like negative 50 degrees, does it work? Or is it the temperature, we would call it like a temperature detection range, which exactly specific, but it's somewhere in like the -30 into like the 600 to 700 degrees range.
Yeah. Okay.
So
there you go.
pretty much anywhere on Earth that you're going to be able to use it.
So you can't go to Mars. You probably can't go to the sun.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. And we can follow up on that and give you an exact.
Yeah. That's good. Someone asked we were talking about the color palettes, that they actually wanted to see some of the color palettes. So our hand model here is going to grab one, and we're going to toggle through some of the, he clipped his nails and washed his hands. So toggle through some of those color palettes so you guys kind of get an idea of what they look like. Like we were talking about, for dark, if it's really dark outside, the green or red's pretty good. I find like the high white and the high black are pretty good for daytime stuff. You can see a lot there. And the range one was really good. We were out playing with that one yesterday.
Yeah, range is pretty cool. It's just kind of
like all the colors. Yeah. So.
And it's difficult. I get the question all the time. What palette is going to work best for my environment? And I really just tell the user, go through. You're going to find ones that are going to work better for you in certain environments.
Trial and error, right? You just got to take it out. Just like with your scope, right? What magnification do you need to be on? Just trial and error. Take it out, test it. Know your kit before you go out on a hunt and use it, right?
In addition to game recovery, I bow hunt a lot. I'm in a tree stand. I'd say half the time that I'm bow hunting, I'm in a tree stand.
More than you work sometimes.
That is a perk of the job.
That was unfair.
I do need to be out.
That's research.
That's exactly right. Anybody that bow hunts, going to your stand in the dark, whether it's deer or elk, I'm sure that you've pushed animals out, right? And that's always a fear of mine, is if I'm going in, sometimes you're like, wow, I should get in at 3 o'clock in the morning, that way I can. Well, this is nice because on your way in, you can scan, and there's several times that I've seen deer underneath my stand location, and I adjust the way that I hunt. I'm going to go, okay, I'm not going to go in there, if I have a plan B, something like that. Also, it's boring when you're in your stand at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I can always hear things moving around. So it's cool. Hey, is that a raccoon? Is it a deer? And it's actually pretally cool to be able to watch a deer walk under you when you can't see anything, and you can totally see it.
Situational awareness, right? That's what we talked about. Absolutely. So that actually made me think camping too. Like it just happens. You're sleeping, you're camping, you hear something rustle in the bushes. I kind of want to know what that is, right? Pop out real quick with the thermal and see what's going on.
You're sure it's a bear?
Is it Bigfoot? Is it
not.
Is it Scott walking around drunk? Who knows?
Anything's possible. So.
All right. So I think we don't have any more questions. We kind of went through everything. I'm going to give away this hat right now. I know which question I'm going to go to. One guy had a really good question. He was talking about the, let's see, on Instagram. You were talking about, a suspect in the woods, talking about distance, detection distance. Great question, Hunter. Hat's yours. DM us on Instagram and slide into those DMs and we'll get you a hat. So just a reminder also, we're going to be doing more of these Leupold Lives. We love doing them. I love doing them. And, let us know what you guys want to talk about. Put it down there in the comments. If there's a specific topic, could be a technology or application or tech tips. How do you do this? How do you do that? We're more than happy to address those and talk about them, and I love this interaction back and forth.
Yeah, this is a great. I mean, it's cool to be able to interact with. You got a question. You got people that are involved in the development of all this stuff. So
you guys get to see the heads behind all the products, and we get to pull back the curtain a little bit, and it's just a good time. So thanks for tuning in, and until next time, we'll see.